The NTT IndyCar Series was back in action for a primetime showdown at Worldwide Technology Raceway Sunday night with Will Power and Scott McLaughlin leading the field to green, but David Malukas was on an early mission. The number 4 went from third to the lead at the end of the opening lap. Connor Daly was also making up spots early after a less than stellar qualifying run. We wouldn't have to wait long for the first caution because it would come on lap 4 when Devlin DeFrancesco spun on his own and backed into the wall in turn 1. Devlin was okay and would later get back into his repaired car after falling 34 laps down. The lap 11 restart saw Malukas continue to pull away from the two Penske's while Daly had charged all the way up to 5th place and Alex Palou was climbing up the order as well. On lap 38, Newgarden and Daly battled for 4th. Newgarden was finally able to pull away after using Graham Rahal as a pick. Power's race would come to an unfortunate end on lap 47 when the pole sitter slid up high in turn 4 and hit the wall, bringing out another yellow and bunching up the field again. Calamity ensued during the next pit stop cycle. Christian Lundgaard couldn't get into his pit box, which also left Alex Palou stuck in his box. Christian Rasmussen left his pit box on fire, and Malukas was beat by McLaughlin for the race lead. We went back to green on lap 78 with McLaughlin leading from Pato O'Ward and David Malukas. Newgarden quickly passed O'Ward for third, and the number 5 started to fall into the clutches of Connor Daly. On lap 74, Newgarden finally caught Malukas for second and began to hunt down his teammate for the lead. Further back, Christian Rasmussen was powering through the field despite being on fire only minutes earlier and was getting close to the top 10, passing Callum Ilott for 13th and then Louis Foster for 12th 1 lap later. McLaughlin had fallen into the clutches of Newgarden on lap 88, but the two-time Indy 500 winner was unable to get by as the leaders encountered lap cars. On lap 100, the leaders pitted again, first Newgarden, then Malukas, O'Ward, and the others. O'Ward had an incredible save exiting turn 2 on lap 127. Somehow he barely lost any time and was still giving chase to McLaughlin for third. The biggest crash of the night would happen on lap number 130. Louis Foster got high and hit the wall in turn 4. On the exit of the corner, the suspension caved and the 45 spun down the track into the path of race leader Joseph Newgarden. The two-car ramped up off of Foster's car, flipping over and along the pit wall before grinding to a stop upside down at the start-finish line. The aero screen once again proved its value, saving Newgarden from a potential impact with the pit wall while inverted, and protecting Louis Foster from taking a car to the face. Both drivers emerged unharmed, but Newgarden refused to speak to the press. During the pit stops, both David Malukas and Scott McLaughlin were penalized 3 places after an unsafe pit release from both cars, leaving Pato O'Ward and Connor Daly to battle on the lap 150 restart. Malukas would take third from Kyle Kirkwood, and further back Santino Ferrucci and Colton Herta made contact multiple times and somehow didn't crash. Back at the front, Daly and O'Ward battled for the lead. The 76 was one of the few cars that could hold its own on the high line for multiple laps at a time, and he finally managed to take the lead from O'Ward on lap 154 and began to pull away. Unfortunately, Daly's last pit stop on lap 191 would be slower than the others around him, causing him to lose the effective lead of the race. Both O'Ward and Malukas came out ahead of Daly once the cycle was complete. Kyle Kirkwood had an amazing stop in his attempt to get back on strategy with the leaders, but Kirkwood would still need a caution. The caution he needed would come when David Malukas ran high in turn 4 and hit the wall. Miraculously, the car appeared undamaged, and he was able to continue on. Scott Dixon cycled to the lead behind O'Ward and Kirkwood on the restart with 54 to go, and it was insanity behind as Malukas and Rinus VeeKay somehow avoided a crash, and Alex Palou was still attempting to salvage a good result. Things were heating up as the final pit stops approached. Dixon and O'Ward would finally pit with 22 to go, leaving Ferrucci, VeeKay, Robert Schwartzman, and others to try and stretch their fuel to the end and pull off a miracle. With 12 to go, all the fuel mileage hopefuls had relented with the exception of Callum Ilott and Felix Rosenqvist. After taking the lead from Ilott, Rosenqvist had to pit for fuel with 8 laps to go, indicating that Ilott needed a yellow quickly. But that yellow would never come, and Ilott finally brought the 90 car in with 5 laps to go, handing the lead of the race back to Kyle Kirkwood, who would finally secure a victory at a track that isn't a temporary street circuit, taking his 3rd win of the year at the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 under the lights at Gateway. Pato O'Ward would finish 2nd, and Christian Rasmussen made up 22 positions from his starting spot to secure his first career IndyCar podium. The NTT IndyCar Series is back in action this week at Road America. You can watch live on Fox on Sunday, June 22nd at 1:30 p.m., and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video here from TWIR. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.